Hey everybody, how are you doing? And welcome to another episode of our Star Trek Judgment Rites Longplay, in which we embark on the next 3 episodes of Star Trek Judgment Rites in our quest to see all of the adventures of this classic interplay adventure game. So the last time in our adventure, Captain Kirk faced an old foe who was planning on destroying the Federation. And then afterward, he went and investigated a mysterious research station on a Stone Age planet, at which he learned that he was apparently a subject suitable for further examination. Why did he get that strange message on his view screen? We don't know. We're going to have to find out. And when we left off, the Federation sent him on a mission to the Delphi system to find out why a bunch of Federation ships are going missing. We're going to find out why right now.
Captain, at our current speed of warp 7, I expect to enter the Delphi system in 8 minutes.
Hey,
Captain,
Seven Pains, how you doing?
I just started getting the oddest noise on all channels. It sounds like some sort of insect drone.
Let's hear it, Lieutenant.
An object is approaching the Enterprise.
Unspoken. Mr. Spock, is that what I think it is?
Sensors indicate that it is an authentic Earth warplane, circa 1917, belonging to the nation of Germany. Its appearance is identical to a Fokker DR-1. Sensors also indicate an immense power source and one life form.
We are being hailed.
This is Baron Trelane von Gothos of the German Air Circus. I have identified you as an enemy aircraft. You have 10 seconds to surrender before I blow you out of the sky.
Trelane, but I thought we'd seen the last of you. Stop playing games, Trelane. Leave my ship alone. We surrender. Trelane. Triplanes didn't have radios during the First World War.
I like this one because it's trolling Trelane. If you're not familiar with Trelane, he appeared in the episode Square of Gothos in the original series of Star Trek, where he was playing a Napoleonic-era lord who holds the captain and his crew hostage, but ends up being a kind of bratty child. It's just that he was a bratty child with superpowers. So to us, he seemed like an all-powerful being. There's an interesting episode that ends with him being taken away by his energy being parents. It was actually parodied on Futurama in one episode, where a similar energy being that is a giant Star Trek nerd ends up being taken away by his mother. So I recommend checking that episode out. I always recommend more Futurama. But I like this idea of trolling Trelane over the fact that his triplane has a radio when it really shouldn't, because he's all into historical authenticity or whatever.
Captain Kirk, that is not the way for mortal enemies to greet each other on the field of battle. Of course you hadn't seen the last of me. I am Trelane, the humble Baron of Gothos.
Humility is not something that I would associate with you, Trelane. I suppose we're going to get another tantrum from a run of mortal enemies. Humility is not something that I would associate with you, Trelane.
Oh, this is wonderful. The sarcastic banter of determined foes just before a battle that only one of them will survive.
Put an end to this farce at once, Trelane. You have a way of trying my patience, Trelane. Go home, Trelane, before you get in trouble again. Didn't your parents punish you enough, Trelane?
My dear Captain Kirk, I'm not the one who is in trouble.
Sensors indicate he is closing on us. I can extrapolate that he intends to fire on us.
Raise shields, evasive maneuvers.
Raising shields.
Arming weapons. Lowering shields, Captain. Disarming weapons. Arming weapons. Raising shields.
I appreciate them, setting everything up for me in advance, but
Our weapons are locked.
As I said in my previous episode, the battles in this game are kind of the weakest part, mainly because it's just point and click. But it's fun in its own way. Looks like you're flying the Enterprise like it's a fighter plane. And the idea of dogfighting with Trelane's biplane it's so Star Trek. I love it. The trick, of course, is actually hitting him, which is kind of annoying. And his guns don't even seem to do a lot of damage.
Target for that missile spotted.
And I'm not doing that much damage to him. The thing is, if you decide that you're just kind of tired of fighting him, you can just decide to stop, essentially. I'm pretty sure it's possible to go faster, but I'm not entirely sure how. Okay, so I've done some damage to him. The way the phasers in this game remind me, like, I've never seen anything quite like it in the TV show. It's almost like I'm flying a TIE fighter, except that I can kind of block and direct my phasers. Of course, the phasers in Star Trek are always a little inconsistent. The original series, that is. Like, sometimes they would... God. Let me get things going. The phasers could, like, sometimes they look like this, sometimes they look like torpedoes because they would use the torpedo animation for some reason. Sometimes they look like death charges, like in the episode Balance of Terror.
Celebrate too soon, Mr. Chekhov. Trelane is like a bad penny. He keeps turning up where he's not wanted.
Hey everybody, I'm back. I was just messing around with the music and the audio. Unfortunately, I'm playing on DOSBox, so it's a little bit finickier, and it wouldn't let me go back to full screen, so I had to restart the game. But I'm back. So we're here in a jail cell now. After you destroy Trelane, he complains that you cheated, and he sends you to this jail cell where you meet this guy.
Lieutenant Commander Ellis is frowning. This sort of stuff always seems to happen to the Enterprise.
Yes, exactly. So, the funny thing about red shirts, he looks like the red shirt from Star Trek 25th Anniversary. In Star Trek 25th Anniversary, the only thing that it really has over Star Trek Judgment Rights is that you could kill a red shirt in every mission. And it makes me kind of sad that you can't do it in this game, but... Anyway, so we have some straw, we have some boxes.
The crates are nailed shut.
Let's see.
It would appear to be an ordinary crate, Captain.
Of course it's a crate. It looks like a crate, feels like a crate. What else could it be?
Doctor, we are dealing with an entity who is capable of sustaining an artificial atmosphere on a planet and then flying that planet around the universe like a starship.
Spock's right, Bones. When we're dealing with Trelane, we need all the information that we can get. Something that looks trivial might be the key to defeating him and saving the Enterprise.
And the Zimbabwe.
The crate is too heavy. The crate is open. It is full of bottles of Himrich schnapps. The date on the bottle says 1913.
Can you guys hear me better now?
No effect.
Take some schnapps.
You have taken several bottles of schnapps.
The old getting out of a jail cell puzzle.
You cover the straw with schnapps.
Great. And get a stick.
You pick up a stick.
You can probably guess where I'm going with this.
If necessary, we...
No, we're not going to sharpen it into a weapon. We're going to do this.
What's going on here? We should leave this building immediately. The proximity of this fire to a large concentration of alcohol puts us at considerable risk.
Do you think the Baron cares if you burn to death?
Who is this Baron? Trelane? Don't be a fool, man. If you keep us in here, you'll die too. It depends on whether he likes his prisoners rare, medium, or well done.
Oh, Captain Kirk, with your sardonic wit.
Who is the don't be a fool?
You have a point, Kirk. Go. I will be following.
Of course he has a point. By the way, that's 2 out of 3 missions now.
Our soldier friend seems to have gotten separated from us. I heard some windows breaking on the other side of the building. I assume that was him.
By the way, that's 2 out of 3 missions now in which I've had to break out of a jail cell. Which is an old adventure game standby, of course. Get out of the locked box.
The building is structurally sound, Captain. I doubt that it would collapse, but as a precaution, I would not enter it again.
Well, where are we, Mr. Spock?
Isn't it obvious? In trouble.
Do you have a problem, Mr. Ellis?
Yes, sir, I have a problem. His name was...
The Baron does not appreciate vagrants.
Why that?
Delb!
I'm sorry. Guess I'm going to be a good captain and go help him out.
Having fun, Jim?
I don't know, is he talking about punching the German guy or punching the lady? And right, everybody is so ripped.
You get no response. You get no response.
I need a doctor.
I knew I brought you along for some reason, Dr. McCoy.
That should fix the hip problem. You should rest. Thank goodness Trelane didn't take the tranquilizers from my medkit. He'd probably be too tired to talk much.
Thank you for helping me. If only I had something to repay you.
You could tell us where we are.
You are the American pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk. The leader
I like
of
that
the
American is
famous
spelled with a K
Enterprise
for some
squadron.
reason.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Jimmy?
Enterprise Squadron?
I suppose I should tell you nothing, but as it looks as though the war will soon be over, I can tell you that this is the village of Gothos.
What war is this?
The Great War. The one that has lasted for 4 damned years and has killed millions. I never thought that it was possible for so many young people to die for such a worthless cause.
I believe he refers to the first of your world wars.
Could you answer an important question for me, sir? What year is this? Where's Trelane? What else has happened? Where's Trelane?
Baron Trelane von Gothos has retired to his castle to await orders. He has vowed to kill you if you should ever meet again, Colonel Kirk.
That's good to know. Let's go talk to this lady. I'm sure she has things to add. 7 Pains. Someone needs to hack in Captain Kirk in a Punch-Out game. I mean, he kind of looks like Little Mac anyway.
Orders are that you are to be served in the armory. You are not to enter this establishment.
Everyone knows, Fraulein, that the Baron's orders were never meant to be taken seriously. Even by him.
I gotta say that I like the World War I aesthetic. And I'm also glad that they didn't go with World War II, which might have been the more obvious one. But it's fun to see Trelane flying around in a triplane.
Looks like trouble.
Excuse me, but if the lady wants you out, then you should get out. Would you like to step outside?
Oh, more fighting.
Hello, soldier. Wouldn't you... Excuse me, but if the lady wants you out, then you should get out.
I won't have trouble in my place. Get out. I will be bringing beer to the armory later tonight anyway.
I don't know who you are, but we had better not meet again.
Well then.
Nice guy.
Well, Miss Gernsbeck, you seem to run a very efficient place.
Thank you, Colonel. Unfortunately, the war does not lend itself to efficiency. What do you wish to talk about?
Gretel reminds me of Indiana Jones's girlfriend from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Why are you calling me a colonel? What's going on with the war? You said that the war led to a... What do you know about Trelane?
I know the Baron despises you and has vowed to kill you if you should ever meet again. Take my advice. Flee Gothos and never return.
And how does one flee Gothos?
I do not know. Else I would have left long ago. The village of Gothos seems to ensnare anyone who comes here. You see, I really work for the French government. I'm a spy.
Gothos, of course, was the planet that Trelane had in the original Star Trek episode. You should go watch it. It's a really great episode, actually. You can find it on Netflix without any problem. Alright, so... who are these guys?
I saw how you handled that foolish brute outside. Quite impressive. I am Schiller, superintendent of the local schools. How may I help you?
What do you think of the war? What can you tell me about... Where can I go to earn some money? What's special about this? What do you think of the war? Where can I go to...
One might find a little money doing odd jobs around the village.
And who are
Rudolph
you?
Ulan, owner of the shop outside. What seems to be the problem?
What do you think about the war, Harold? What can you tell me about Trelane?
I like that he's asking everybody what they think of the war.
The perfect German. If anyone can turn this war around, it's him.
You're such a sycophant, Rudolph.
Alright, let's what's in this door.
I didn't know
poker.
your good luck was only temporary. I'd be quite annoyed. Mr. Full House is complaining. If his hands were any more indecent, he would be arrested.
With the Baron's soldiers, he might be arrested even if his hands were decent. I can't complete a straight to save my life.
Or your fortune. Hello, I am Richard Sondergaard. I publish the local newspaper. It's nice to see someone as famous as you, Lieutenant Colonel.
Doesn't it worry you, Herr Sondergaard, that you know an enemy ace is standing next to you?
The Baron has given orders for everyone in Gothos to treat you well, Herr Kirk. A fellow pilot honoring fellow pilots, I suppose, although I would not trust the military to follow those orders to the letter.
Alright, well, we don't really need to be in here for long. So... there's something that you can actually do in here, so I might as well do it now.
My medical tricorder identifies the substance contained in the keg.
In other words, beer.
How come Spock gets to ramble on forever with his explanations without interruptions, and I don't?
Time to drug some beer. It's the American
McCoy
way.
has drugged the beer.
Hello. Welcome back, Mondo 25. Trelane's nefarious scheme to get Kirk a minimum wage job. Yes. And here's our triplane.
A Fokker DR-1. Castle Trelane. What else could it be?
have a power reading from that Fokker that is off the scale, Captain. It is identical to the sensor readings I took off Trelane's triplane on the Enterprise. It is the same triplane, but the power levels are far beyond anything that should be produced by that object.
Theories, Mr. Spock.
The last time we encountered Trelane, he used various items, a mirror in particular, as a source for his power. This locket is another one of Trelane's power objects.
I think he actually means this plane, but I'll forgive his, weird vocal inconsistency. Alright, so... and let's scan the castle.
I'm picking up immense power readings from that castle in the distance.
Well, of course it's Trelane's base. Where do you expect Trelane to live? A slum?
Doctor, your display of emotion is quite unnecessary.
I do like all the banter between McCoy and Spock, even if it gets a little excessive at times. Let's go in the shop. I like the kid in this shop. He's not very smart.
Charming place. Less technology, more humanity. I like it.
Somewhere in the middle of this European charm is Trelane and the missing ships. Let's find him.
Hi, can I help you?
What do you want for that room? I see you're selling food packages.
You look hungry. Sure, have it. Pay me later.
Like I said, not very smart. Here's, I'll take everything.
Can I help you?
What do you want
Of course, he's really nice. What do you want? He wants me to take all of his stuff.
That don't think. I can give it to you now. You can pay me later. I'm sure my boss, Mr. Uland, won't mind.
Of course not. He's only that raging sycophant who looks like he would rather have me shot in sight.
Hi, can I help you?
You know, kid, that he's gonna just send you to Trelane to be hanged or something. Or whatever they did back in
Is that
the
a coil of rope over on the wall?
firing squad. Yes, definitely
Is that
firing
rope?
squad.
No one ever buys rope.
Yep,
Go
just
ahead,
take it.
Take it.
Okay, this strains belief
Hi,
a little bit.
Can I help you?
What do you want for those shoes?
I'm sorry, but those shoes have already been paid for.
Aw.
Hi, can I help you?
What do you want for that? Really is a beautiful clock.
It sure is. I can let you have it. Pay me later. Or maybe not. Mr. Uland wouldn't like me to give away something that expensive on a promise.
Aw. Wait, what is the clock?
The clock is another of Trelane's power objects, Captain.
So, of course, I can't take that one that easily.
Hi, can I...
What do you want? That really is a beautiful...
It sure is.
Oh, so he's not going to let me just take it, of course.
I would not get near that dog if I were you, Jim. It's suffering from rabies.
Well, they apparently keep rabid dogs as... apparently keep rabid dogs as guard dogs in World War I Germany, but that's why I have this thing of meat.
The dog is now hungrily eating its meal.
Great sound effects, by the way. Go to sleep now, puppy. I know, Wando 25.
Another satisfied patient.
If this were Skyrim, I could totally, sneak into the shop and be in stealth mode, even though he can, see me, because apparently his vision cone doesn't have a high enough sight rating, and then I could take the clock. But alas. So those guys are all taken care of because I poisoned their beer, or drugged it, I guess. Gave them some roofies and all worked out well.
I could mind meld with him to get the combination of the safe.
Do it, Spock.
Trelane. Trelane. Trelane.
Spock, snap out of it.
He's not paying attention to me. Run away.
The combination, Spock. Concentrate on the combination.
Kirk. I must have revenge on Kirk. Every great man has his enemy. Nothing could be more fun than revenge. The sensation to end all sensations.
Spock.
I am back, Captain. I was able to mind meld with Trelane to an extent through his replications. These men are the crew of the Shinobi, the original freighter that Trelane captured. Their thoughts have been altered by Trelane.
Where is the Enterprise, Spock?
Or the Zimbabwe?
Yes, we know that you want to get your ship back, Commander Ellis.
I received the impression that Trelane is holding them prisoner. I also got the combination for the safe. Right 43, left 18, right 29, pull.
I really hope I don't have to remember that.
Captain, allow me to do that. I was the one who discovered the combination.
Okay, sure, why not? As long as I don't have to remember it. Woo! Dynamite! We need more explosions in the world. We'll use that later. And take
You've
this
taken
gun.
one of their rifles.
Your phasers don't really work in this world for kind of obvious reasons. They don't want you just walking around shooting everything. So I'll be back for him later.
I can't believe the trench would be so close to the town.
It shouldn't be. At this point in the war, the Allies had broken through the trenches. That's why Germany surrendered. Their defenses were crumbling, and they didn't want to see their cities destroyed.
Lieutenant Commander Ellis is a bit of a history geek, apparently, which is fine, because I love history. I am also a bit of a history geek.
Only one of many illogical situations, Commander. The building where we were imprisoned almost burned to the ground. But no other building was touched, and no one seemed concerned about the fire.
Well, I mean, in fairness, it was just some smoke coming out of windows, but we'll just look past that.
What else?
The fact that everyone seems to recognize us, yet the military does not try to intercept us. The building signs in English instead of German. There is much here that is not what it seems.
Okay, here's a question. Is Trelane, just helping the Enterprise crew because it's fun, or does Trelane speak English and not German? Curiouser and curiouser.
Nothing to report in the West.
What can you tell me about the war?
What can you tell me about the war?
What can you tell me about Trelane? What can you tell me about the war? What can you...
I like to watch the airplanes fly overhead. The enemy watches them too, and I know we'll have a few minutes of peace.
That's odd. I should be able to see immediate improvement in his injuries. But I have no response.
That is because Trelane is interfering. This man is meant to be a dying soldier, whose presence provides drama for Trelane's production.
He'll die.
Logic suggests that Trelane will not allow him to die, except for dramatic effect. Given the inconsistencies I've noticed, it is probable that he may be kept alive indefinitely.
Can you give him something for the pain, Doctor?
Nothing I've done has any effect on him, Commander.
Oh, that was kind of cool.
Captain, another abnormally high reading emanating from an object in his pocket. A locket of some sort.
Can I just point out that I love the detail in this game? I love the stuff that was happening in the background. The explosion was really cool. Let's see.
Nothing to report.
What can you tell? About your locket.
You're only lying dead here, but about your locket.
You want my locket? But that's the only reminder of my girl. I'd rather lose my arm.
We need it very badly. If we do something for you, would you give it to us?
I just William Shatner's performance has absolutely no nuance whatsoever, because he's just reading some lines in his studio. No sensitivity toward the dead guy.
I have a letter to my girl. If you see that it is delivered, I'll give you my locket.
Yes. I have been on this planet for a very long time, Matt Mitchell 45. A very, very long time. But I'm gonna get off it. That's a promise. And then I can go to strange new worlds and explore new life and new civilizations, boldly going where no cat has gone before. Aww.
What is it, Gringold? Ah, visitors.
German meow.
I think the cat is very comfortable in its current location, Captain.
No, I want the cat.
A domesticated longhair.
What can I do for you, Colonel?
What can you tell me about the war? I noticed that you have... What can you tell me about... That's a very nice cat.
Every old man should have a pet, Colonel. They're like children. But we're never disappointed in them when they get older.
An ordinary house cat, Felis catus, a common human pet. The first records of domesticated cats are from ancient Egypt, where they reduced the rat population in the grain fields, and were also used as hunting animals to retrieve small birds.
Somebody definitely wrote that.
Spock, has anyone ever told you that ignorance is bliss?
His name is Glingold, Captain Spock.
The gramophone is not functioning. It would appear to be a trivial malfunction.
Do not concern yourself with it, Captain Spock. Glingold does not like loud noises.
Here, let me sweep your floor.
You Americans are very helpful. It's a pity we're at war with you. But wars always end. And today's enemy often becomes tomorrow's friend. Unfortunately, the reverse is often true.
There's my minimum wage job that I told you about.
Here, it's not much, but money has its uses.
Thank you. Perhaps you might be able to use a broom around here.
Why, thank you, Colonel.
Here, have this free broom that I took from the shop. The kid's gonna get sent to the firing squad for it, but whatever. Here's our democracy lesson.
And remember, democracy is weak. It relies on the votes of the foolish masses who are incapable of choosing strong leaders. Constitutional government fosters weakness. The rejection of republicanism is what won the last war for Germany, and it will bring us victory over these stupid Americans.
I feel like I'm stuck in a 1960s propaganda video against communism.
That's not what they told us at the academy.
Boys and girls, let me introduce you to an example of inferior Republican stock. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk. Tell us, Kirk, how can you defend the ludicrous American system?
I see no reason to defend anything, Captain. These children are, in spite of your efforts to indoctrinate them, quite capable of growing up to become adults who will make up their own minds. I am not interested in a debate, Hauptmann. If your system is so superior to America's, why don't we put it up to a vote? You have a choice between a system that gives you leaders who will oppress you for life, or a system which, imperfect though it may be, allows you to influence your leaders and gives you a chance to bring them to account.
Wait, he's wearing a cooler uniform. Yay, imperialism. Woo!
All in favor of Hauptmann's system, say aye.
Aye!
Yeah, I like what you, Wolfgang.
All in favor of my system, say aye.
Aye!
And those kids were never seen again.
It appears that they don't want what you offer them, Hauptmann.
I will not tolerate such insults. The Baron will make you all pay.
It was such a Star Trek moment. Oh my god. I'm expecting...
Jim, wasn't that a violation of the Prime Directive?
Next, Kirk is going to read from the Constitution.
Dr. McCoy, this is clearly an imaginary culture with no real existence. The Prime Directive cannot be reasonably extrapolated to affect such a culture.
I agree. Germany is an imaginary culture.
Herr
Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask you, what do you think about these children are something? I didn't realize they let mad dogs teach children. What do you think about these children are something? What can you tell me?
Ah, the Baron. Such a charming man. If
Such a
all the
charming
military
man.
Gothos were like him, it would be a better place to live.
But wait.
Captain, another abnormally high reading emanating from the chalkboard.
Herr Kirk,
Yes, I'd like to ask you, what do you think about what can you tell me of these children are something? I didn't realize, I've heard that chalkboards can be very dangerous to children. The chalk is very bad for the lungs. Maybe I should remove it.
You want to remove my chalkboard? Nein, absolutely not. I wouldn't consider it unless you gave me a letter from the superintendent telling me to do this.
One thing about these games is lots of fetch quests, which is fine, I suppose. It's a lot better than an RPG, for example. Can come off as padding on occasion. Let's see, okay, so I need to deliver the letter for the guy, and I need to get the letter from the superintendent. And what else? Letter for girlfriend. Here, take care of that.
Thank you, Captain. I will see that it is delivered.
I'm so nice. Hey, is that a knife? Sweet. I like her. And here's Schiller.
Herr Kirk, though my position as school superintendent keeps me busy, I'm always glad to help you.
He's a traitor.
What do you think of them? What can you tell? I've been to inspect the chalkboard.
I am very proud that we are spending money on the finest educational equipment, even during the middle of this accursed war.
So fine. Better than a computer, even.
Herr Kirk.
What do you think? What can you tell me about Trelane?
A flamboyant.
Huh. Okay.
Herr Kirk.
What do you think of the
horrible business? Herr Kirk.
Thank you, Herr Schiller. I don't think
Anytime.
Huh. Okay, so...
And what is the Bluffmeister up to this time?
More banter.
He doesn't bluff. He just complains about everything.
I do not. If I did, I would have hit the ceiling with my last hand.
You don't. You deal with it.
There's no hand worse than the one you deal yourself. Welcome, friends.
Can you help me get into this poker game?
I would lend you a stake to enter this game, but it appears that I will have to win a few hands to give you that money.
Let's play some poker.
Welcome to the game, Colonel.
I need one of those poker visors like Data has in Star Trek The Next Generation.
3 hours later.
Whoa! Time warp.
My God! Where did you learn to play poker, Colonel?
The real question is, Captain Kirk versus Commander Riker in a poker game. Who wins?
Starfleet Academy.
There, now I have lots of
enough
money.
To purchase the clock, Captain. I suggest we do so without delay.
I am busy.
Jeez.
Herr Kirk, I believe we have been, how do you Americans say it, conned?
Nah, just bluffed.
These Prussian cavalry sabers are really imitations.
I like that you can look at so many different things in this game. Alright, so let's go buy a clock. It's not burned to the ground. Look at it, it's just the windows are out or something.
That's just enough to buy this neat clock.
Just enough. Okay, one power object. I forget, can you go in here? Nope, this is not an enterable place. And let's go get me a locket.
Nothing to report.
What can you about that locket?
You've delivered my letter. I guess I'll keep my promise. Have my locket.
Thank you. Locket and clock has been obtained. Now just to get the chalkboard. And then we can blow them all up.
Herr Kirk, can I...
Yes, I'd like to... What do you think? What can these children... I didn't realize... What do you think about...
You want to remove my chalkboard?
Okay, I did that. Scan this.
The chalkboard is still one of Trelane's power objects, Captain. Fascinating.
Well, let's wake him up.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh wait, maybe I have to ask him about...
You'll never get me to talk.
I would prefer that you're nothing but a figment of Trelane. Where's Trelane? I would prefer that you... Where's Trelane?
I will tell you nothing. You'll never get me to talk.
I would prefer... You're nothing but a figment of Trelane's childish imagination. You're even less important than he is. Where's Trelane?
I will tell you... So, this is the great Lieutenant Colonel James Kirk, threatening a man who is tied and bound. What bravery.
But I have a gun. So what I need is a letter from the superintendent. But for whatever reason, the superintendent isn't giving me what I need. So maybe I just need to talk to him again. I already asked him about how he feels about the war.
Fritz Schiller.
Herr Kirk.
Thank you, Herr Schiller. I don't think I
Anytime.
Excuse me, Gretel, could you answer a question or two for me?
I will try.
Why are you calling me a colonel? What's going on? You said that the war led to a lack...
The soldiers are little more than animals. They do as they please because a band protects them. I must deliver kegs of beer for them every night. It keeps them from having to leave the armory.
Excuse me.
Why
are you calling me a...
I know who you are. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk, leader of the famed United States Enterprise Squadron that has shot down so many of our pilots, along with Major Spock and Captain Leo McCoy.
Captain McCoy, Leo?
Probably need to go back here, actually.
I told you I wasn't bluffing.
I didn't know your good luck was only temporary. I'd be quite annoyed.
I have so few vices in my life. I must do the best I can with what I have.
Whose deal is it?
These guys are the best.
Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
What can you tell me? I need you to spread a rumor about a chalkboard.
Need to talk to the guy. I needed to talk to the newspaper guy. I'd forgotten about that.
You say you need me to convince Herr Schiller to give you the kindergarten blackboard? Do not know why, but I would do anything if you could get the commander to issue a transfer for my son.
So many fetch quests. Okay, now I gotta go back to the armory and do the thing with the thing and the thing, and then we'll have our final power object, and life will be good. No, you can't go into the mine, Rallyo. That is just part of the scenery.
You'll
never get me to talk.
You're nothing but a... I would prefer that you didn't. You're nothing but... Where's Trelane? Where's my crew? I would prefer that you didn't.
I will tell you.
Now I need to threaten them.
You presume to threaten me, Colonel?
I want you to sign transfer papers for Sundergaard's son. Send him away from the front.
I'm gonna say that it's not exactly intuitive to use the rifle to threaten him, but...
Typical of the press. Not too willing to sacrifice for the good of the nation. Untie me, and I shall sign papers to take this little coward away from his duty.
And then he was shot. It was very nice of him to sign the thing.
I'll get it.
People are also
You have
willing...
taken the signed transfer papers.
I'm gonna argue that they're still willing to help Captain Kirk because they're actually crew members of the ships willing Captain Kirk's success. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. I cannot express my gratitude. If there is anything I can do for you, please let me know. Welcome, friend.
What can you... I need you to spread a rumor.
You say you need me to convince Herr Schiller to give you the kindergarten blackboard.
So I did that. And the rumor should already be spread because time works funny in this world.
Herr Kirk.
You look worried. It wouldn't happen to be about the chalkboard by any chance.
I have heard the most horrifying rumors about these boards. Do you think they are true?
Absolutely. If you wish, I could dispose of the thing for you before anyone is harmed. I'd need a letter for Frau Hopperdink.
Absolutely. Take it when you want to destroy the vile thing.
You pick up the piece of paper.
Alright, let's wrap this thing up. I like the big Goron sword one.
Well, if the superintendent says you must take it, you must.
Just let me put this in my pocket or down my pants, apparently. There we go. And off we go. We are just about done. Now come the fireworks.
All right, Commander, you were about to tell us why you're being so hostile. Let's hear your story.
Does the name Lieutenant Ralph Garvin sound familiar to you? He was my roommate at the academy and was killed by some blood-sucking cloud while on a landing party under your command.
Was he wearing a red shirt? If so, then no, not really.
Space is not the safest of environments. I've always done my best to protect my crew, and I've always honored anyone who has lost their life under my command.
The Enterprise is routinely assigned to unknown and extremely dangerous sectors.
I have always made it a policy to lead landing parties and share the risk with my men. I suppose you've never lost someone under your command, Commander. When you become a captain of a starship, you'll have every right to judge. I have always made it a policy...
Captain, if I see you do anything that puts us or our escape at risk, you'll regret it.
I'm not interested in vendettas. I'm interested in survival. If you have a problem with me, you can wait until everyone's safe. Is that clear, Commander?
Yes, sir. So that's where this Trelane is holding my ship.
Alright, so chalkboard in the plane.
You put the chalkboard.
Locket in the plane.
You put the locket.
Here, let me have some.
You put the clock in the triplane.
And dynamite.
Affirmative, Captain.
Here we go.
Everyone stay well back.
Yeah, like, just right here is fine. That wasn't really well back.
I suppose I should be angry at you, Captain, with your act of vandalism against my beautiful aircraft. But then, barbarians will be barbarians.
Just want to point out that this is actually William Campbell, who did play Trelane in the original episode. He also played a Klingon, who ended up going on to Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He is a Star Trek great. So it's pretty awesome that they got him into Star Trek Judgment Rites.
There's only one barbarian in the room, Trelane. Release my ship, Trelane. And don't you ever grow up, Trelane? You may have powers of a god, but that doesn't even come close to making you a man. There's only one barbarian. Release my ship, Trelane.
My ship? My ship? It's always your ship, your crew. Don't you have anything else to think about? Conquests of your enemies and the fair sex.
Trelane.
Restore the ships you've stolen and return them unharmed.
You're in no position to make demands. I am the Baron of Gothos, the most renowned aristocrat in this part of Germany.
This farcical, wildly inaccurate fantasy of yours.
And you are my prisoner, a mere Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk. And I will do with you whatever I want.
I love the bearskin rug. That's pretty great.
This bottle contains a very realistic reduction of the USS Zimbabwe.
That's because it is.
My ship! Bring it back or I'll...
This one's even more savage than the last one of your officers who made the same mistake. My compliments, Captain, on having such a spirited crew. Truly a testament to your fine leadership.
Release him, Trelane. He's done you no harm. Take me in his place. He's not a member of my crew and you know it. Besides, he looks rather peaceful.
I like this one.
Release him, Trelane.
You're no fun, Kirk. Besides, why should I?
I'll do what you want.
Your concern for the safety of your inferior species is most tiresome, Captain. Very well.
I suppose I should thank you, Captain.
Yeah, you really should, because I could have just left you there forever.
Later, Commander.
This bottle contains... This seems pointless. This bottle contains a very real...
Jim, is that what I think it is? It is the Enterprise, Doctor. It is functioning normally, aside from being trapped. The crew are alive and well.
My latest hobby, gentlemen, putting warships in bottles, celebrating the grand martial heritage of your species.
Wando 25, Data never died. We know Star Trek Nemesis never happened.
Well, Captain, I suppose...
You must think you're pretty clever, Trelane, with your replica. Why should I have to make a grand plan to escape? I don't have to do anything. Eventually, your parents are going to find you and discipline you again. You must think you're pretty clever, Trelane, with your replica of the First World War.
Why, thank you, Captain.
I wasn't complimenting you, Trelane. I've never seen such a piece of nonsense in my life. Although you could have made that trench scene much more realistic. If World War I had been the way you depicted, human history would have been a lot less bloody. I wasn't
Are you calling the Baron of Gothos a liar?
Not a liar, just misinformed. Use the memory banks of the Enterprise, Trelane. Recreate what's in there. War at its most realistic and terrifying. Not a liar, just misinformed. Use the memory banks of the Enterprise Trelane. Recreate what's in there. War at its most realistic and terrifying.
So maybe there are a few glitches in this CD-ROM. I like the art here.
The sides of a trench. Moats filled with soldiers in which they besieged each other for 4 bloody years.
Captain Kirk, I hope you had a good reason for dragging me out in the mud in the middle of the rain.
Look around you, Trelane. Is this glory? Is this valor? Smell the stench of death. While knights fought in the sky, millions died in the mud. Diseased, starving, mutilated. Is this the sort of game you want to play, Trelane?
But these people lost, Kirk. Shame and suffering is supposed to befall the losers in war.
These were the winners, Trelane.
Oh, yes! Gloriously sacrificing their lives for king and country.
We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, loved, and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Field. There was no glorious cause. No glory in dying, in wasting your life without reason. These men knew pain, they knew anguish, but if you could feel what they felt, you would find very little excitement about war, or duty, or honor. You would not wish to experience the emotions they felt, Trelane.
Oh my gosh, that was an honest-to-God Kirk speech. How lovely. Very good, Star Trek Judgment Rites. Very, very good.
What you want to feel, Trelane, is a romance, a fiction, a lie crafted by humanity for generations to cover up the pain. We've learned to live without that lie. Learned that our lives are better without it. I hope one day you learn it too.
Are you finished?
Not until I've taught you some sense or until I'm dead.
You're no fun anymore, Kirk. No fun at all. You're preachy just like them. Anything I'm interested in is always wrong.
Release my ship. Trelane, look around you. Does this look right to you? Trelane, you don't go around hurting people and expect them to... Release my... Trelane. Trelane, look around you. Does this look right to you? Trelane, you don't go around hurting...
Then how do you explain this delightful scene around us?
Some politicians decided that the only way to avoid getting hurt was to send other people out to get hurt. We've tried to outgrow that. Not always successfully, as Mr. Ellis might tell you, but we try.
Captain, yours is a most confusing species. Perhaps I should spend some time thinking about it before I talk with you again.
Captain's log. Missing starships have been restored to normal size and are about to return to their assigned missions.
Ah, that's the Kirk I know and love. Managing to defeat every advanced alien species and supercomputer with pure, unadulterated logic, and the odd Kirk speech.
It was horrible, Mr. Spock. Trelane recreated one of the greatest tragedies in human history. I've seen a lot, but even that...
The waste of lives is appalling, even when one operates by pure logic. When one considers what those millions of lives that were lost might have done for humanity had the war never taken place.
Or they might have become the next Hitler. Consider that, Mr. Spock.
Well, now that we've taken care of business... Ow! I'll have to see Dr. McCoy about my shoulder.
Something happened, Captain?
Mr. Ellis and I.
I see. Are your differences settled?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Spock. We each won a game of zero-G squash, but I'm afraid he was called back to the Zimbabwe before we could have a rubber match. I think I dislocated my shoulder with a rather wild swing in the second game.
Zero-G squash sounds so much fun. Oh my god.
Then logic suggests that your injury would have caused you to lose the match.
I suppose so. He's a good player and a good officer. I'm putting in a request to bring him on the Enterprise.
That should be fascinating.
Hello, Captain. I'm Captain Gernsbeck of the Shinobi. I thought I would thank you personally before we left for Cephas 5.
A pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Have we met before, Captain? There's something familiar.
Perhaps we did, on some other planet, in some other star system, sometime long ago.
This is just like Mirror Mirror, where that one girl comes in and, yeah, whatever.
Message from Starfleet Command.
On screen.
I've reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I am very pleased with your performance. It was a perfect mission, Jim. Your reputation as Starfleet's best starship captain is secure. Kane out.
Woo! Michael
Captain's
Stackpole.
log. While exploring an uncharted star system in the Deneb sector, we received what we think is a message from a distress beacon on Onias 2. We're en route to investigate.
I think this episode was written by the same guy who wrote I, Jedi and the Rogue Squadron series for the Star Wars Expanded Universe. So if that's the case, that's pretty cool, because I actually think he's a pretty solid writer. As, Star Wars Expanded Universe fiction goes. Alright, where do we gotta go so that I don't have to fight some Romulans or something? The Onias system. Onias 211. It's a little yellow star. Ah, here we go.
Approaching Onias 2, Captain.
It may be nothing, Captain, but a scan of the planet's atmosphere indicates a high concentration of rare gases trapped in the planet's magnetosphere. Atmospheric disturbances could produce random radio waves.
It wouldn't be the first time, Mr. Spock, but we'll never be able to tell if we don't check it out. After all, to seek out new life and new civilizations is our mission, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
A split infinitive, Captain.
Oh my god, I can't believe they actually called that out.
What?
The proper grammatical expression is to go boldly where no man has gone before.
Somehow, I think it loses a little in the translation.
There was somebody on the writing staff that just had to point that out.
Entering standard orbit.
Ah, yes. This planet's just as pink as the other one.
Save, replay, delete, recap, save, replay.
Down we go.
Captain, our sensors will not be particularly useful to you while you're down there, and communications may be erratic, sir.
We'll be fine, Lieutenant. What reason is there to worry?
Yeah, why indeed? Why would I ever worry?
I'm afraid, Captain, there are plenty of precedents. We'll be here if you need us.
I have no doubt of that.
I have tracked the signal to its source. It is near the life forms. The rest of the planet is quite desolate. No sign of life or technology. The atmosphere is thin, but breathable, and I detect numerous micrometeorite hits.
There are 3 unformed planets in this system. It's no wonder. There are so many micrometeorites. I'm surprised any Class M planet hasn't been pulverized by now.
It's no wonder. There are so many micrometeorites.
It is not inconceivable, but it is certainly unusual.
Let's do it, Spock. You, McCoy, and I. Oh, and tell Bones to see if a genetic specialist is available. If there are only 2 life forms, we might be privileged to see life at its earliest stages.
Skeleton after the vultures have picked it clean.
A fascinating analogy, Doctor. Captain, the locus of the distress signal is in that building.
I think the doctor is right. Anything good here died a long time ago. It feels creepy to me.
Hey, what's...
Thank you for that opinion, Mr. Johns. I'll be certain to use creepy in my log entry about this.
Hey, what's Mr. Ellis doing wearing a blue shirt? And why are they calling him Mr. Johns? I'm so confused. Well, let's go over here. Not
An
this
antenna.
one.
I wonder what it was meant for.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what we're here to find out, Mr. Johns.
Not that one. Not that one. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit. I'm just trying to save myself some time. And was it this one? Or was it this one? There's a big rock that I need to shoot by one of them.
Let's see. Eeny, meeny,
Captain, perhaps you... This appears to be similar to Federation technology, Captain. It's...
Strikes me this place is hot enough already.
The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. Captain, until power...
Jim, this isn't funny.
Strikes me this place is hot enough.
These rocks are approximately one... These rocks are approximately...
Let's leave this for now. Let's go see what's inside the building.
Well, I have to hand it to whoever built this place. All this equipment looks brand new and in good repair.
Let's hope the Enterprise looks this good when it's this old.
We should be very careful about how we proceed, Captain. I have a strange feeling that evil is lurking nearby.
Evil, Ensign?
Something that wants to imperil our souls, sir. We must avoid that at all costs.
Let's get this green crap off.
The unique use of a phaser, but adequate for removing the deposits from the apparatus.
Greetings, gentle beings, and welcome. I am Azra of the Omegan people. You are the salvation we have long sought. Thank you for answering our summons.
An angel!
So, this episode gets a little ham-fisted about religion, I should mention.
Actually, it is the projected image of an angel, Mr. Jones.
Jim, somewhere in that machine behind the portal are single-cell organisms. They have a healthy metabolism and long lifespan, but an extremely low rate of reproduction.
So where's the emergency? Greetings, I am James T. Kirk. All right, I know you're just a projection. So where's greetings?
I am Azra of the Omegan people, an ancient and venerable race which labors to prevent the domination of this world by the forces of darkness. We require you to expunge this place of our mortal enemies.
Captain, the most worthwhile purpose in life is to fight against the forces of darkness. We must help him.
Enemies? This world is so barren that all the life on it is located right here. If you have mortal enemies, we've not seen them. Our prime directive prohibits us from... You will forgive me if I don't fall for a pretty face. I'm not about to expunge anyone. Enemies?
I speak of the Alphans, of course. They are foul, cold creatures who pervert even the most sacred ideas. They cling to the heretical belief that life began within darkness. Of course, we recognize light as the life bringer. All things began in a brilliant, life-giving burst of light.
A burst of light? That's a common motif in creation stories.
Well, Warlock 82. Yes, it is a typical episode of the original series, but so is the last one. In fact, all of these are pretty typical episodes of Star Trek the original series, which makes Star Trek Judgment Rites so brilliant.
Or in accordance with the Big Bang theory of the universe's creation.
Unfortunately, we haven't had Kirk read the preamble to the Constitution yet, which kinda... But there's still time.
You must expunge the world of the Alphans. This is why I called you here. I know you can accomplish what you need to do with the equipment that is present. Be warned, Visner can be very persuasive. I await your report of success.
No, I don't think that... Maybe I should ask Spock.
Kirk never does anything for himself.
I will now reactivate Azra, Captain. This casing is constructed from a uranium alloy and contains computer equipment and energy levels behind this glass are more than sufficient for...
The enclosure behind this porthole is teeming with life. Billions and billions of creatures. There's something wrong with the piece of his genetic code that controls reproduction. I've never seen such a low reproductive rate in an organism that's this simple.
I see little point in conversing with you.
Welcome you, Otherworlders. I beseech you, save us from that which seeks our destruction.
How fitting for a devil to appear on a world that looks like hell.
Enough of that, Mr. Johns. This is just another xenobiological entity.
Correction, Doctor. This is a projection of a xenobiological entity.
Jim, the only life form readings are within that machine behind the portal. Single-cell organisms with an extremely high reproductive rate, but a very poor metabolism and an extremely short lifespan.
Greetings, I am James T. Kirk of the... So, when do the wicked witches and goblins show up? Your emergency beacon and statement lead me to believe you see more of an emergency than exists here. Greetings.
I am Visner of the Alphen people. Our race possessed this world and thrived here until the invasion by the forces of light. We are locked in a death struggle with them, for they desire our destruction. Do you aid them?
No, we do not aid them. Wars and destruction are not things we value, Visner. Forgive me, but I find that claim insupportable. Wars and destruction are not things we value, Visner. Our prime directive prevents us from interfering in internal struggles. But at the request of all parties, we might negotiate a compromise.
You open yourself to confusion in speaking with Azra, but it is understandable that you want to hear his side before acting. My assessment of you suggests that most of you will fight the clouding of logic and will see through Azra's deception. Please report to me your success.
Why wait? We've already talked to Azra.
It surprises me that you managed to survive listening to his warped theology. Yours must be a patient life form.
Frankly, Visner, Azra is certainly committed to his cause, but hardly the blood-mad fanatic you describe him to be. Warped theology. It is true they differ. Frankly, Visner, Azra...
We were not fooled by your lies about him, demon.
Ensign Johns is overstating his point. Azra's enthusiasm for his position did not bring with it a skewing of perspective that places him outside the range of reality.
Ensign John, the guest stars in these episodes just aren't very smart, are they? They're hot-headed, or in this case, keeps calling an alien a demon, unable to recognize the fact that he's not literally a demon. He's just some single-celled... okay, whatever.
Azra is capable of reason and tolerance. You can make peace with the Omegans.
Peace? They want us dead. From the moment of their invasion, they have desired our destruction. The only chance for our survival is a return to the time before the invasion, which means their death.
You want to return to a time before the invasion. If you're so logical, why can't you find a peaceful solution? Can't you find similarities with the Omegans? Something that can build a bridge between your cultures?
How can their concerns match ours when they reach conclusions based on superstition in a document which is largely allegorical in content?
Logic, when applied to your arguments and theirs, suggests that you have had the same experience. The two of you are united in a common drive to attain an end. Your mutual distrust reflects a fear of facing your destiny.
Okay, so I'm going to level with you. I'm a little confused by this whole single-cell organism death struggle thing, simply because it's hard to tell how they have had a war or apparently had a Bible, but maybe I'm missing something, so I'm just kind of go roll with it.
Realizing your full potential will not be without risk, of course, but it is possible. Meet the Omegans halfway, and we will help you fulfill your destiny.
Not a bad psychoanalysis, Jim. Freud would be proud.
Your position is unassailable and points out the one and only purpose for our races. Thank you, Captain Kirk, for making me see that. Yes, I desire your help for my people. Help us.
You take the alpha sample, which feels cold to the touch.
Let me just go get my other petri dish here. Come on, there we go.
I will now reactivate Azron.
Was it not as I said it would be? Are not the Alphans unfeeling, uncaring beings unworthy of life? Did they tell you their lies?
Foul lies? Their position contradicts yours, but there are similarities. You dwell on your differences so much, you just can't see them.
Captain, they're as different as angels and demons.
Similarities? They are beings of shadow. They mock our perfection. They are our antithesis, created after we were to destroy us and our potential for good.
You repeatedly proclaim yourself good and suggest you are morally superior to the Alphans. Why don't you act like it?
We have sought every opportunity for peace, but none is possible. Or can you not see that?
What I see is a group calling themselves morally superior, yet a group that acts in a venal manner. What you have failed to see is that your attitudes are mirrors of each other. As shadow is drawn from light, so light needs shadow to define it.
Captain, the existence of evil does not justify it.
Quiet, Ensign. If you would stop being so selfish and were willing to give of yourself, much as you ask us to give of ourselves, you can find a solution to this problem.
It will not be without risk, of course, but it is possible. Meet us. Meet the Alphans halfway, and we will help you fulfill your destiny.
Okay. That was a thing.
The persuasiveness of your arguments has opened for me a door through which I spy a future and a truth that I have long denied. You are correct. Perhaps being only half of a whole, I could not see the solution. Yes, I desire your help for my people. Help us.
Whoa, is that true? I'm totally gonna try that now.
No effect.
The sample dish feels...
Save new replace.
Jim, no, don't!
What happened? Did we...
Captain, message incoming from Starfleet.
On screen.
Captain, we've just received a transmission from an advanced alien race showing us your actions on Onius 2. They told us that they've lost all interest in communicating with the Federation because of them. Kirk, I am removing you from command. Captain Spock, you are to take the Enterprise to Starbase 6, where an inquiry into the actions of its former commander will convene.
Admiral.
That's an order, Captain Spock.
Yes, Admiral.
Richards, out.
I'll pray for you, sir.
Captain, message from Starfleet.
I've reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I'll be frank, Kirk. Starfleet expects more out of you than that. If I were you, I'd do some serious soul-searching about my command ability. I would expect as much from a cadet, but from Starfleet's finest.
Mr. Sulu, set course for Starbase 6, warp factor 3.
Aye, sir. Course laid in, warp factor 3.
The end.
Load a previously saved game.
Wow, I had no idea that you could do that. So that was a thing. I love that you can have these insane endings. In episode 2 of this game, if you kill
This sample sequence is like a dream.
One moment. Yeah, sorry, okay. If you decide to make the alien race permanently aggressive, you can actually continue. It'll just give you a way, way lower score than you would get otherwise. But in this game, it forces you to load a previously saved game. In Star Trek 25th Anniversary, in the 6th mission, you have this godlike person who is just a dude with a really cool organ that gives him godlike powers, getting prosecuted by the Klingons, and depending on your actions, you can save him and make the Klingons look stupid, or you can end up getting the godlike guy executed and having to have a starship battle with the Klingons. There's a lot going on in that mission, and I wish that I could show it to you. But it's a great mission, so you should go find it on YouTube or something.
No, I don't think that's necessary. No, I don't think that...
Let's put it right in here.
I don't know why, but I could not get a good sampling.
I wonder, Ensign Johns. Why could that be?
Ensign, let Dr. McCoy try that troublesome sequence.
I can do the job, sir, if I can have some peace and quiet here.
Mr. Johns, I think I'm getting a clear picture here of your difficulties. Do you realize that insubordination is an offense punishable by a court-martial? It looks to me that you're deliberately trying to mislead. Calm down, Ensign. No one is criticizing you. I just need answers.
I appreciate the offer, Captain, but I know what's right and wrong here, so I don't need your help.
Ensign, I appreciate your situation, but this is not the time for philosophy. You have a job to do. Ensign, you are here as a genetic engineer, not as a... I could really use a Tellarite security officer right now. Ensign, I appreciate your situation, but this is not the time for philosophy.
You don't understand, Captain. Look at the Alphans and look at the Omegans. There's so much evil in the universe. You're asking me to destroy a race of good and beauty by mixing their genetics with something ugly, something evil. I can't do it.
Ensign, these Alphans and Omegans are single-celled creatures. Those projections are only constructs. Examine them yourself. Could their DNA produce creatures like Azra and Visner?
Single cells. You're right. I've been a real idiot, judging a book by its cover. I suppose I should take a refresher course in Aesop.
It's okay, Ensign John. I understand that you're not too smart. Let me pat you on the head now.
It wouldn't hurt. Some of the wisest people in history have written for children.
Thank you, sir. I hope you'll give me a chance to correct my mistakes. Do you think we're really meant to combine the two races?
You've programmed the sequences. You can tell whether they're compatible.
Sir, the sequencer indicates that they need to be combined for their continual survival. But how did you know?
I listened to Dr. McCoy. It seemed the logical conclusion, given the evidence.
Thank you, Captain.
Yes, as Round the Wheel just explained, that episode of 25th Anniversary I was referring to was called Feathered Serpent, and it does in fact feature a person who refers to himself as Quetzalcoatl. It's a pretty good mission. It's like a 2-part mission too. It's pretty long. I think the best part of it is when you're doing like a mission of trials for the Klingon court, you can go into a secret area where an advanced being lives, and you can turn the tables and have the Klingons judged, or you can just enter the sequence that you have that you figure out from the Klingons and go into the next area, which is clearly a trap. and then you have to beam back to the court, and everything goes wrong. But there's so many different ways to finish that mission. It's really great. Anyway, I'm done talking about Star Trek 25th Anniversary. Let's just keep doing this.
The alpha sample is sequenced, sir. Captain, we have to run a set of source samples through the sequencer before I can make a composite sample with the replicator. The two samples have joined together as easily as if they had once been a whole and had been separated before.
Any race that had this technology 50,000 years ago could possibly have been able to perform such a dissection and kept both halves alive.
Captain, with the samples sequenced together, I'm ready to use the replicator to produce a sample with the combined genetic data.
You tread close to unholy knowledge round the wheel.
I am producing a new culture, Captain. Captain, the genetic sequence is still stored in the computer. If we need another sample, the replicator can generate it. I officially christen this life form, the Gammons.
Very creative, Ensign Johns. Very creative.
Well, Jim, it doesn't look like it does anything. Oh, I guess I spoke too soon. It took it in. It looks as if the colony is getting a foothold in there.
Life energy levels are spiking. They're building to a level sufficient for sending out a signal 100 times stronger than the one that brought us here, Captain.
The Gammon sample appears to be thriving in this environment.
Thank you for your hard work. You have fulfilled the design for which we were created. I am authorized to tell you. Thank you for your hard work. You have fulfilled the design for which we were created. I am authorized to tell you.
It would appear there is more to this message than we are receiving.
Kirk to Uhura, are you receiving any strange subspace or radio signals?
Captain, there is a neutrino-based transmission being broadcast near your current position from a point of unknown origin, probably from another star system. Our equipment is not designed to handle it. Though given 1 to 2 weeks, we might be able to identify patterns and extrapolate what it's trying to say.
We'll work on the problem from here. Kirk out.
Thank you, Mudron. That is a perfect explanation for Scotty.
Captain, This appears to be similar to Federation technology, Captain. Its control principles are similar to the... Aside from this sensor...
There we go.
The energy level is insufficient, Captain. We cannot generate the energy level needed to provide geothermal energy with hand phasers.
If it's thermal energy you want, Jim, I remember this planet that used a starship's phasers on a microwave setting to heat the surrounding rock to provide temporary power.
An interesting observation, Doctor. We could use the same technique here, but the beam would have to be extremely precise. If we targeted the wrong section, we could melt the rock and destroy the array.
Mr. Scott requests to know if everything...
Tell Mr. Scott that everything is...
Standard volcanic rock. I would estimate 3.5. Captain, although this rock formation does indirectly lead to the thermal core, I suggest finding an area that would allow a more direct transfer of energy. This appears to be the most accessible spot to heat the rocks below the ground, and generate geothermal energy for the array.
Kirk to Enterprise. Sulu, can you read me?
Sulu here, Captain. How can I help you?
The Enterprise should broadcast a low-level microwave beam at the coordinates I am sending.
We have them, Mr. Spock. Get ready. Stand away from the blast area.
Stand by, ready for weapons position.
Oh my.
Sending microwaves now.
Temperature near the power coupling is rising rapidly. I estimate a below-ground temperature of 345 degrees Kelvin is required to reactivate the array. It is at 320, 330, 335, 340, 345, 350.
Shut off the beam, Mr. Sulu.
Affirmative, Captain.
The array is now drawing power. We were successful. Captain, the parameters of this sensor have been preset.
Thank you for your hard work. You have fulfilled the design for which we were created. I am authorized to
The narrow width of the keyboard indicates the creatures. The array is functioning stably. I estimate our discharge has given it adequate energy to function for 13 days, 7 hours, and 26.8.
Interesting rocks.
I thought you...
I had a seat next to Finnegan in my geology class. Every day a different practical job. I could never concentrate around him. I didn't fail the class, but I didn't learn as much as I could.
By the way, I've never been a big fan of the episode Shore Leave. It's okay.
The array is a precision instrument that shows a high degree of machining.
A high degree of machining.
Captain, these controls do not seem... The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. The support beneath the base is weak and crumbled. It is aligned to a point approximately 35 degrees above the horizon. Captain, the controls indicate the device is aligned at an angle approximately 35 degrees above the horizon. There appears to be some sort of anomaly in the control program that has misaligned the controls, but my tricorder is unable to determine it.
Scotty, I need a calculation from the main computer.
While I know the computers on the Enterprise aren't quite as good as her engines, I think she'll manage.
I am sending the problem.
Ugh, that was too easy, Mr. Spock. The angle is 32.5 degrees.
I bet my iPhone could probably handle that problem these days.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
So is there anything else you need, Captain?
I have an app for that.
Not now, Scotty. Kirk out.
I am now attempting to realign the device to 32.5 degrees. It should now be correctly aligned.
Thank you, Captain. for your aid in constituting my people and in the unexpected necessary realignment of our communications array. You have performed admirably. Of the 16 stations reporting at this point, there have been 50% fatalities, 30% other failures, and only 20% successes. One group got points for style.
Points for style? Is this not another alien race with us? Your appreciation is welcome, but many questions remain unanswered. Who are you?
I am Sisissa, a projection of a synthesis of Azra and Visner. Clearly you know that the primitive life forms you have been dealing with are incapable of creating that in which you now stand. You will also note that the more demonic of the creatures displayed a passivity you did not expect, while the morally pure creature was aggressive and bloodthirsty.
The contradictions were noted and duly dealt with. I take it you were testing us on our ability to deal with disparate and contradictory inputs.
Yes, your reasoning ability was being tested, as well as your ability to adapt to new ideas when they conflict with deeply held beliefs and cultural customs. You passed quite admirably. The Brassica were impressed.
The thing that I find interesting is that in Star Trek, religion is quite clearly a thing of the past. So it's interesting that you have a crew member who is so clearly into Old Testament style fire and brimstone baptism.
I'm not clear on who the Brassica are.
Captain, from this site, I can deduce various things about the Brassica. They are taller and more slender than we are. They are possessed of 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand. I suppose bilateral symmetry, and I know they possess greater visual acuity than humans. They visited this place well before humans had left the Cro-Magnon stage of development. And I note they have avoided detection by us, and presumably every other race in the universe, before they decided to send out signals to bring us to their bases.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
And more you shall know as you continue on the quest. I wish you luck.
Kirk to Enterprise, Scotty, 4 to beam up.
Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.
In this case, Bones, a new beginning. We were the midwives for the rebirth of a life form. 2 halves that have been made whole again. That's the way it was meant to be.
And let us hope that this is the end of Ensign John's prejudices.
I actually thought that was kind of a cool little sci-fi story. It makes me think of something that might have been a short story, a Star Trek short story. So it works well in this context. Lots of little short stories in Star Trek Judgment Rites.
We can all learn to stop judging people by appearances. Ensign Johns might have done well to remember the biblical representation of Lucifer, appearing in the guise of an angel of light.
He also might have done well to review the episode of the animated series called The Magics of Magus 2, in which Lucifer something is on trial, etc., etc.
You can never trust anybody, and people who look like pointy-eared hobgoblins are definitely at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I was just pointing that out in the beginning of this. I saw the name Michael Stackpole, and I was like, oh, no way. The guy who did the Rogue Squadron books and I, Jedi, how fascinating. He was actually really good. But this episode may have been a little too on the nose, in some ways.
It appears that Dr. McCoy did not learn the lesson of this mission either. Unfortunate, but not unexpected.
Fortunately, the Alphans and the Omegans learned philosophy and personal belief are not as easily divorced from logic as some would believe. We humans attain our greatest fulfillment when both of them are united.
We all learned something today, didn't we, Captain Kirk?
Really, Captain?
Really? But I've had enough philosophy for one day. I'd rather worry about these Brassica and their cosmic quest.
When Kirk said, really, I totally saw that Kirk smirk that he always does. By the way, Kirk and smirk rhyme, so they must be true.
Well, with me aboard, we're sure to get points for style.
Many questions remain unanswered, Captain.
And there's only one way to answer them.
More Star Trek.
Captain, message from Starfleet.
Bring it up, Lieutenant.
I have reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. Well done, Kirk. Keep up the good work. I must say, however, your performance is not what we've come to expect from James T. Kirk. I guess we all have our off days, Captain. Kane out.
What did I do wrong? Huh. I must have dealt with my crew member not very well. Oh well. I solved the puzzle. Jeez, Admiral Kane is not nice.
Ahead, Mr. Sulu. Warp factor 5.
Leaving orbit. Increasing to warp factor 5.
Goodbye, Pink Planet. Goodbye, religion. I was trying to do the satellite stuff first. Oh my god! It wouldn't let me.
Spock, where do you think we should start looking for this? Brassica?
Logic suggests that they will present us with opportunities to come to them.
Captain, a message from Starfleet.
On screen.
Captain, the USS Regulus has been forced to cancel its survey mission to the Antares Rift. We've decided to redirect the Enterprise to that mission. The USS Hood will take over for your current assignment.
Of course, the Antares Rift has a rather dangerous reputation.
Nothing the Enterprise can't handle. But be careful. Starfleet out.
And with that, we're going to have to end this stream. I know I said that I was going to give you 3 episodes today, but it's been nearly 2 hours. And I am going to take a break, so we're going to make this long play 4 parts instead of 3 parts. You can find the previous episode on USgamer.net, and we'll be back probably next Tuesday to continue the long play. So please look forward to that. We have lots of adventures to come in the Antares Rift and on the planet with the museum, and then we're going to figure out what these Brassicans all want. So it's going to be great. Thanks to everybody who dropped by. I had a great time. If you're really enjoying the stream, you should click the little heart that's right underneath the screen and subscribe. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday, and we occasionally do long plays like these while also checking out games new and old, so it's really fun. Otherwise, it's been a lot of fun.
Save new game. Replace previous
We'll have
game.
plenty of time to geek out about Star Trek going forward. Otherwise, I've been Kat Bailey, and I'm from USgamer.net. Go to USgamer.net and check out our stuff. And I will see you next Tuesday.